Homosexuality is a belief. It is it's not mandatory in that person.
Really? 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 Roll the titles. So yes, you're right in thinking, I'm going to rant about this, because yet another idiot has taken to the internet and they think that they have this valid point to say, and they don't. So let's go through some of the points in the video, and we'll sort the facts out from what's in this video. Let's do it.
Homosexuality is a belief. It's not mandatory in that person. The person is not born that way, no matter what Lady Gaga says.
I'm going to stop you right there, because I kind of have something to say right now, already. Like, if I was there, I would have pimp slapped you all over the room, just for saying that, right? So, okay, first off, we've already got it established that you believe that homosexuality is a belief. Like, yeah, right, okay. I would love to know where you based that information from, or where you got that information from, should I say. How would you know this? You know, I mean, you talk in your videos like it's something that you have researched, that you know that gay people believe in being gay. I mean, right, can I ask you something? If you're watching this, if you are genuinely watching this and you believe that what you say is true, surely if you see a person of the same sex, then you believe you would not have sex with them. That's all it is. I mean, you might go and have sex with them, but you believe that you won't. You believe that you're going to have sex with the opposite sex. Is that how it works in your mind? Because if I can just point something out to you already, I mean, for the people who are watching this and don't know who the fuck you are, you're a 14-year-old. 14. And that's your opinion. And we'll find out later on in the video exactly why your video has gone viral and why you got hacked. I mean, already I'm really pissed off with you. And that's only going on this little bit here, saying that you think it's a belief. How can it be a belief? How can a person believe in their sexuality? I mean, they either are or they're not. So, yeah, you're wrong on that point already. The second bit I want to pick up on here is you say that it's not a choice, that people are not born that way, despite what Lady Gaga says. Now, admittedly, I'm not a Lady Gaga fan. You know, it's like her music and her as a person I'm not a fan of. You know, I hold my hands up and admit that, but that's not the point here. My point is that Lady Gaga gives hope to literally billions of people all over the world to say that, you know what, you might have slight differences in either your sexuality or your personality or your race, anything like that, but it doesn't matter. You're a human being. You are what you are because you were born that way. And just to pick up on a little point here that you might already be thinking, yes, for as far back as I can remember, I've been attracted to people of the same sex. That's not a recent belief, as you would claim in your video.
That person is not born that way. It is a decision. I know, it's getting worse. where I'm at. I see younger people that is turning to be out to be homosexuals. It's equal, boy and girl both. All of them are starting to turn to homosexuals.
It's not that you're wrong, it's that you are epically failing in your video in every essence. Where to start on this point? Right. Right, okay. Everyone you know is turning gay, right? Let me just tell you something here. I mean, it's not a case of you turn gay. Speaking scientifically, as has been proven, I mean, you won't believe that because obviously you're going to believe in the word of God and how, you know, God says love thy neighbour, but if he's a homosexual, then you should obviously take to the internet and condemn them sort of people. I mean, I remember seeing that bit in the Bible, don't you? Was that in there? Oh wait, no, it wasn't. It wasn't. Oh my God. I mean, you know, God says to love thy neighbour, and what are you doing? You're showing them hate. So you're a bit of a wanker, really, you know. So, okay, yeah, so a person does not turn gay. That's a fact. Proven fact. The other thing with that is that you say it's people are turning gay and they're coming out and everything like that. I mean, first off, you've got the fact that it takes a lot of balls to come out. Whether you are a male or female, you've got to have a lot of bottle inside of you because it takes a lot. I mean, you're talking a person coming out here, they risk losing everything in their life, and in quite a few cases that does happen. You know, I mean, you only have to look at some of the videos here on YouTube to find out exactly that. But a person is born gay, and whether they realise it when they're 5 years old or whether they realise it when they're 70 years old, it doesn't matter. That person is who they are, you know, and if it takes a while for them to realise it, so what? So be it, you know? Just, stop sprouting your bollocks, but you didn't. You carried on in this pathetic video. Let's see some more.
We've got about 30, I'd say 30 teenagers in this county that I'm at that are homosexuals. And it is sickening. It sickens me. And you know what? I knew these kids. Some of them I was friends with. I knew these teenagers when they were in elementary school. I knew them when they were in the beginning of middle school. And you know what? They were not homosexuals.
You knew the teenagers? You knew them. It's not a case of you know them, it's a case of you knew them. Well, do you know what? That says actually more about you than it does the person who's come out. And that's me being really fucked off with you at the moment. I mean, genuinely pissed off with you and your pathetic, lousy opinions. Because that is all you're sprouting here. It's your opinions. You claim later on in the video to be speaking the word of God, yet you speak utter shit. And that's all you're sprouting, hate and lies. And to say that you knew these kids, not a case of you know them, a case of you knew them, meaning that, you know, you found out about this person's sexuality and you've disowned them, basically. You no longer have anything to do with that person. Well, that makes you an absolute scumbag and genuinely fucks me off. Because, you know what, when a person comes out about something as sensitive as their sexuality, when that person does that, the best thing that that person needs is a bit of support and a bit of encouragement and just someone to turn around and go, you know what, that's fine. If that's who you want to be, if that makes you happy, that's fine. Even if you carry on and turn around, you know what, it's not my cup of tea, I wouldn't do it, but, you know, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. It doesn't affect me. And those are the main important words there. It doesn't affect me. And you know, earlier on in the video when you said, it sickens me, well, fuck you. If it sickens you, I couldn't give a shit. Because, do you know what? It's my life. I'll do what I want to do. And if that sickens you, well, grow the fuck up and get a fucking life, you little dick.
They just decided all of a sudden, you know, I think I'm going to be gay. And, you know, why they are becoming homosexuals, why they are becoming gay, it's because they are being encouraged by it. President Obama, it's all right, it's okay, you were born that way.
Yes, Yes, they were. Carry on.
You know what? It gets better. It gets better being, rather than say, you need to turn away from homosexuality. That is a perverted belief, and it is immoral, and it's not natural.
You're alright, you're okay, you were born that way. Little side note here, when the fuck has President Obama ever said that? Because I'm yet to see that footage of him actually saying that ever. I mean, like, even before he became president. Yeah, he's never said that. So, you're trying to put words into the president's mouth that he's never actually said before. And also, to kind of criticise your point again, because I can, you're wrong. The president has openly admitted several times in his career that he is not a homosexual. And, you know, he doesn't particularly like what homosexuals do, but he realises that America these days cannot go on discriminating against people. You know, if you've got people in love who want to get married, well, why shouldn't they? Because they're in love, and a marriage is kind of like cementing that love together. You know? That's how it works. That's how politics works. I mean, of course, being a 14-year-old, you wouldn't understand that, but that's something you'll learn later on in life. So, yeah, my first criticising point about this would stop trying to put words into your president's mouth. The other thing with that is, he isn't promoting homosexuality. All he is actually doing is saying, you know what, if you are and you want to go and get married, that's fine. If you want to go and walk down a street and hold hands with your partner of the same sex, that's fine. You know, and you shouldn't be frightened to feel that way. And the only reason that gay people do feel frightened is because there are people like you who spread hate throughout the world over a topic that they know fuck all about. And are just generally vile people in general. But, you know, some of these people will be quite violent because they can't seem to understand what it is like to be that person in the first place. And that's all it is. I mean, that's what homophobia is. It's a lack of understanding. And in most cases, it's a lack of wanting to understand. But hey-ho, whatever. So, yeah, the president is not promoting being gay. I mean, I've never seen him handing out a flyer, or any of his supporters handing out flyers saying, become gay. Nor has he ever verbally said, you should become gay, or try to sell it in that sort of way. All that he's done is to relax certain laws to say, if gay people want to do this, that's fine. Giving equal rights to people. And you know what? Okay, at this point, I'm going to point out something which has been repeated over and over and over again throughout history. And, you know, although this 14-year-old is chatting absolute shit, he's not the first type of person to do it. Yes, he's 14. He hasn't lived in the real world. With the opinions that he's got and the sort of work that he tries to undertake, he's never going to be surrounded by the people who will actually educate him on what it's like to live in the real world. He's always going to have this sort of cotton candy thing around him. He's going to live in his own little bubble. That's fine. I can live with that. But the fact is that, you know, okay, so he's not living in the real world. Do you know what? Fuck it. I'm not even going to... You know what? No, fuck it, I am going to say this. I try to convince myself not to, but then I do. As much as he's not living in the real world, he's obviously not looked back in history, because there was a time, back in history, funnily enough, when women people couldn't vote. And the campaigners started campaigning, and they said, women deserve the right to vote. They are equal to men. You guys who have looked in history, you'll have heard of the, like, Burn Your Bras campaign and that sort of stuff. It's women's rights. Women wanted equal rights. Now, in some places around the world, women still don't have any rights. I mean, it was only in the news, the other day, saying that there's been 4 women that they suspect of being killed because they were like clapping and singing at one of their weddings. And you kind of think, right, okay, yeah, no women rights there then. So yeah, women rights, and there was people like him who would be sat there going, well, you know what, women, it says in the Bible that women should not have equal rights, you know. It says something in Leviticus. You notice, by the way, for people who've looked through these sorts of cases in the past, Leviticus always gets quoted. Have a little read of Leviticus. It makes for some quite interesting reading, and it kind of gives you some good firing back lines. If anyone ever approaches you with hate and they try to use the Bible against you, just read Leviticus. You'll know what I mean when you've read it. The same thing with black people. There was a time in history when black people didn't have rights, and yet again, you know, there was protest after protest after protest, people going, black people don't deserve rights. It says here in the Bible. And turns out a couple of years later, it didn't really say anything in the Bible about that, but, you know, I mean, we only found that out later on when these Christian people, these crazy, stupid people, are kind of proven wrong. I mean, they've been proven wrong so many times. I mean, what this 14-year-old is saying kind of borders on what the Westboro Baptist Church would say. Now, the Westboro Baptist Church are ones who actually said, and it is on the internet, and if you wanted it, if any of the Westboro Baptist Church crazy people are watching this and they want me to try and find the footage, I will do my best to find it. But they actually said that if gay marriage was to be legalised in New York, it would signify the end of the world. We would feel God's wrath, right? And what happened? Gay marriage got legalised in New York. Fabulousness happened. You're still watching this video. We still can, because it's not the end of the world. And we've not felt God's wrath. So, proven wrong, really. Awkward. So, let's carry on with this video.
But rather than the president saying that, he is saying homosexuals, you can get married and it's alright. I mean, it's alright to be gay. We'll make it better for you. It'll be alright.
I presume when you quote and say that it gets better, because President Obama did support that. He did his own video, for those of you who don't know. The It Gets Better campaign was set up mainly to support, obviously, the LGBT community in saying that, you know what, if you have come out and you're in a really, really shitty situation, don't take your life because things will get better. And this campaign has proven to be really, really good. I mean, just like the No Hate campaign, all this sort of stuff. It is working, and it does well, and I'm still a strong supporter of the It Gets Better campaign. Now, if you're going to criticise that, we kind of need to have a bit of a serious talk here, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to take hope away from kind of like, I'd go as far to say as millions of teenagers and adults as well. You know, people who need that message in their life to say, you might be in the shittiest time at the moment, things will get better. And it needs to be from people who have been in the shitty times, who can turn around and go, you know what, I'm on the other side, the grass is greener, it's a hell of a lot better. That's what we need. And to criticise the It Gets Right campaign just shows exactly what kind of idiot you are, because the It Gets Better campaign is not just supportive of the LGBT community. Originally, yes, that's what it was, but the meaning of it gets better, it goes for anyone who's in a really, really bad situation. So by criticising it, because you just associate it with the LGBT community, you are also criticising it with people who are suffering while being religious, while having the same religion as yourself. And, you know, they need the message of hope, and it gets better, which, you know, you would hope that they would be able to get from the Bible, but obviously if people can't, the It Gets Better campaign is there for them to show, for them to read about. You know, I mean, even Obama in his It Gets Better video, he openly says, I can't say it gets better as a gay person because I'm not gay, but I can say it because I'm black. Good enough for me. You know, he's giving hope to kids who are getting bullied because of the colour of their skin. Which, by the way, the colour of their skin, they can choose that just as much as I can choose my sexuality. Fact. Proven fact right there. So, wrong again, but let's carry on.
They say, I'm not for bullying homosexuals. I believe that it's wrong. But when you're trying to teach them the Word of God, and they consider that bullying, yeah, I find that a big problem with not being allowed to convert other people to my religion and telling them it is wrong. Homosexuality, the belief is condemned by God, and you will go to hell if you continue to follow this belief unless you repent. It's getting to the point where I can't say that anymore.
Oh, hell no. She just didn't. But she totally just did. Fresh meat. Where to begin now? Okay. By the way, this is going to be a long video. I don't know if you've noticed. Right. So, yeah. Right. Okay. Right. What first part of the failing do I go for? Okay, we'll go for the bit where you said about how you don't want to bully homosexuals because you believe that's wrong. Have you watched your fucking video? Girlfriend? Have you been there and watched your shit? What the fuck is your video? You know? Your video is bullying homosexual people. I mean... What? Seriously? And then you have this cheek to then turn around and say you kind of excuse the bullying because you're trying to convert people to your religion. Well, do you know what? I'm gonna put these two things together. Stick with me on this, right? I treat your religion and your version of your religion the same way as I treat the old pervert man who lives down the street, the same way I treat his cock, right? First off, I don't want him telling me about it. If I want to find out about it, I'll go and see the fucking thing for myself. Second of all, he shouldn't be taken to the internet and trying to babble about how great it is. I know what a knob looks like, because I'm doing a video response to one. And, you know, if he's going to get it out and whap it out and start telling everyone about it in public, he's going to get arrested for indecent exposure. I kind of think that if that's the word you're going to take to the street, I kind of think the same thing should be happening to you because you're a dick. The last thing of this as well, and I'll say the same thing to the old pervy man down the street as the same way to you and the way you go on about your religion. I don't want the fucking thing ramming down my throat. Period. I don't have them. Yeah, because, you know... Your message is invalid, frankly. It is. I mean, let's also kind of face some little facts here. What I'm to presume from your setup, is that you have this kind of like podcast type thing, where it's like your thoughts and something, and you're live on a Wednesday and Friday, is it, or something like that? Is that how it works? I don't know. So my first question would be, why is it you've got a video camera videoing you doing this, yet you don't once look at the camera? Well, okay, maybe you do once or twice look at the camera, but seriously, you know, either do a video or do a podcast. Don't mix the two up, because I'm sat here watching the video of you thinking he's not even looking at the camera. He's talking into a microphone where he's got his gain turned up too much anyway, which is why you get the loud hissing sound when he stopped talking. Or that could be just me sat in the back going, boost. Yeah, so I kind of think that you're just a knob anyway. So, yeah, kind of little point proven on that one. Next.
This stupid Fairness, West Virginia, that is here in West Virginia, there was this kid that was on there. I believe his name was Michael, who said there was a girl that came up to me and said, we prayed for you in church. We prayed that God would show you the light and you would turn away from your evil and wicked beliefs of homosexuality. The kid made fun of that. And then he came out and was like, oh, poor me, she hurt me, she hurt my feelings. But all she was doing was basically, she was witnessing to him. But he took that as bullying.
She was witnessing to him? What? Right, okay. So, I don't really know what you mean by that, because, I mean, you confuse me anyway. But it's kind of funny that in this little segment, we get to find out that you are in West Virginia. Now, if people want to, right now, who are watching this video, I suggest you pause the video, go and have a little look at the Lady Bunny song, which is in the comment, the video description bit below. Go and have a look at that, then come back. Do it now. Do it. You done it? See what I mean? Yeah, how to put this nicely. You are in West Virginia where kind of incest is kind of acceptable, and I also believe it is one of the states where you can legally have sex with a horse. So, yeah, that kind of sums up where you're living and why you have these opinions. The other thing is, when you tried to do the high-pitched voice, your voice was breaking. Being that you are 14 years old, I'm to assume that you are just about going through puberty. Am I about right with that? So, yeah. I'm kind of thinking that what you should be doing is going through school, keeping your head down, trying to get yourself a decent education instead of being a bigot. And then maybe try spending a few years in the real world. I mean, go travelling around America. I mean, you're in, like, what, one of the biggest countries in the world? Go and explore it. And pay particular attention to the gay people, because it's quite clear to me up to now, you know fuck all about them. And seriously, you've got growing up to do. So, go and do it. Okay, let's carry on.
He took that as bullying. Guys, I'm going to tell you this. When kids are teens, are being basically indoctrinated and encouraged to follow homosexuality, with the president saying, it's alright, go ahead and be a homosexual. With the vice president, it's alright, be a homosexual. Barbara Boxer was on TV the other day. It's alright, I used to be against homosexuality, but now I've changed. Now I've accepted the rainbow. I'm going to tell you this, guys. President Obama, Vice President Biden is making kids gay. Obama, if you're encouraging, you are making kids gay. You are saying that it is alright to follow this belief. It is completely natural. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not immoral. They are encouraging kids to think, well, you know what? They're talking about being a homosexual, and they're saying that there's nothing wrong with being gay, so you know what? I think I might try that out for a little bit. That's what's going on.
Thank God, thank your God, for that program over bit at the end. I mean, seriously? Where the fuck do I begin with that? You have this claim that teenagers are... I can't even remember what it was that you actually said about it, but you claimed something along the lines of teenagers are going out and experimenting, and how, you know, the president is pushing on teenagers to be gay. Why are you saying this as if you're not a 14-year-old? Because let's face it, you are. So am I to assume that you have either been and experimented with sex with people of the same sex, or that you are going to be doing that sometime soon? Is that what's happening? Because that's what your video makes it sound like is happening. Awkward, really, would be the way I would describe that a little bit. That's kind of all I can really be bothered to remember what you said. As for the support for gay marriage that your president came out with and said, I support gay marriage, and the vice president did, and then you say about some other person who used to be a homophobe and now isn't, well, I'm going to tell you something about this, and I'm going to try and be as nice as I can with it, but not only are you completely and utterly retarded, you are yourself a teenager, and if you're going to try and criticise the support for gay marriage at 14 years old, well, you seriously need to be living in the real world. I mean, you need to be at an age where you are fully developed puberty-wise, so as you can develop sexual feelings, and, you know, be in a committed relationship and see why people want to get married in the first place. Only then can you try and criticise it. You know, I mean, I can show support to it now, even though I'm not in a relationship. But, you know, why stop people getting married? If that's what makes them happy, let them go and do it. It's not affecting me. It has no chance of affecting me. So, yeah, why not go and let them do it? It's their own problem. If they want to do it and they end up getting a divorce, so be it. You know? I mean, let's face it, you're living in West Virginia, I presume. If your churchgoers, instead of campaigning against gay marriage, because they saw that as something which would cause the end of marriage, so to speak, why wouldn't they also try to bring into law the banning of divorce? Because divorce obviously signifies the end of a relationship, the end of a marriage. So why wouldn't that be brought in? You know? Do you want me to stop marriage breaking up? Isn't it? Have you ever thought about that? But no, I mean, you wouldn't have. You're 14. My final thought for this video is that it borders on being amusing for me, because I don't take offence at it. I mean, I realise that he's a 14-year-old little gobshite. I also realise that after seeing this video, I doubt there will be any girls going near him. He's probably going to be staying a virgin for quite some time, whether it's through choice or not. My very final thought on this is he's entitled to his own opinion, as we all are. Like, you know, wherever we've got democracy in this world, you can go and have your own opinion. That is great. I fully support that, right? So I'm not criticising the fact that he's got an opinion. What I am criticising is the fact that he is trying to use lies and basically bullshit to make his opinions seem more valid, you know? And the whole thing is bullshit because he's 14. He's 14. Since when did a 14-year-old live in the real world and know all issues? Doesn't happen at all. I mean, I'm nearly 24 now. I'm living by myself, and I still learn stuff near enough every day. You know, I mean, that's the way that life is. We learn as we go along. But he's 14. He hasn't learned anything. He's still going through school. I mean, okay, it probably is because he's living in quite a homophobic area anyway. But yeah, that's my final thought. So if you're going to go and watch this video and criticise him and send death threats and everything like that, then, you know, whatever. I'm not going to stop you doing that. My only thing is, it is his opinion. He, as thousands of other of these crazy Christians do and believe in, they hide behind the Word of God and say, it's kind of like they've got a copy of the Bible here and they're going, right, this is my opinion because it's what God says. And they hide behind their opinion they hide behind the Bible yet again. And then they might have an opinion on abortion, and it might be don't get an abortion because God says it right here in the Bible. It's here. And they're hidden again. That's what they do. And it doesn't matter what topic it is. That's the way that they're going to be. Because, you know, there are ones who are against abortions and blah, 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 blah. It's a controversial issue. Same with black people when they were fighting for equality. Same with women when they were fighting for equality. You're always going to have people who try to hate on equality because they see it as something to be afraid of because they don't know what's going to happen. And that's the fear. That is the fear. They don't know. They're not educated enough to know. And they're actually that ignorant that they don't want to know. They don't want to educate themselves. So, fine, whatever. If you have been affected by his video and it has upset you or whatever, feel free to tell him. You know, I mean, he got hacked into on his Twitter and his YouTube channel, and it was actually quite funny what they've done. Instead of just like trolling the fuck out of his channel, they deleted his channel. So he's had to get another channel. Now, at the moment, he doesn't have any videos on that channel. I will leave you a link to his channel below, his new channel, and of course his Facebook and all that sort of stuff. And, you know, you get in contact with him if he's upset you. I know that I did, and it was basically just to say, grow the fuck up. And that's my final thought. So, thank you for watching, and I will speak to you guys later.